Itali-Echo, hosted by Viviana Dragani. Welcome back to my show and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you're new here so you won't miss our next guests. And today, my guest is an author, Malcolm Chesters. Let's learn something about him. So, his life reads like a tapestry woven from diverse threads of passion and commitment. At the core of his multifaceted career is a man who has seamlessly blended the roles of a lawyer, business executive, and a teacher. Malcolm's academic journey is as impressive as it is diverse. He embarked on his path at Brown University, where he delved into the complexities of political science, and then further honed his expertise at Tufts University, securing a master's degree in child study, a testament to his dedication to nurturing young minds. And the crown jewel of his academic accolades is his Juris Doctor degree from IIT Chicago Kent School of Law. But Malcolm's story begins much earlier with his compassionate work teaching young, challenged children here in Massachusetts, a role that speaks volumes about his character and dedication to societal upliftment. Today, we will be chatting about his latest book, Payback. But before we dig into it, show reel. Welcome back. Today, I'm very excited to host author Malcolm Chester. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. So, why did Ralph Tager start his payback rampage?
Well, what happened is Ralph Tager is a man of action. Everybody is different in how they react to situations and stress. Ralph Tager moves and acts. That's how he deals with life. He's a SEAL, decorated SEAL. And he's very, very close to his SEAL unit that he's taken to battle many times. And he's become their boss, and he's no longer going on the SEAL team escapades that they're involved in. And he finds out that they've all been killed in an ambush. So this upsets him greatly. And then his wife and his daughter, who he's devoted to, they go to a mall, and the wife is killed, basically defending the daughter. There is a pervert who steals the daughter, captures the daughter, and then rapes and kills her. And Ralph Tager is a man that doesn't know how to react to this. It's destroying his life. So he reacts the way a man of action reacts. And he hunts down Ted Wiggle, who's the person who did this, and he kills him. And in the process of doing this, he finds another young girl of about the same age, 10 or 11, and he's being tortured by this pervert. And he saves her and takes her to the hospital. And so that kind of starts the narrative, and it becomes him and his new adopted daughter, Cindy, who become involved in the book as it moves forward. So that's the prelude. We're a person, a man of action, but there's a lot of things that happen after that.
Thank you for your answer. So, what is the meaning of his dreams about the people he has killed visiting him in his dreams? And does the priest explanation satisfy Ralph?
Yeah, well, the problem Ralph has as he goes on through his rampage and he organizes a group that hunts and kills predators, like the one who killed his wife and daughter. So he starts having these dreams because he's been a soldier, basically, and a lot of people have died at his hand because that is his job. And more people are dying now that he is on this rampage through his SEAL teams that are taking out all these predators. And they come visit him in his dreams, and he's never had these dreams before. So is that his conscience speaking? It's kind of a question coming, why is he having these dreams? And he asks the priest, and the priest says, well, what happens is that when you kill all these people, their souls are angry and they break through into your subconscious. So what we're talking about is not just a killing machine. We're talking about a human being here who has his own issues as he moves forward and faces the challenges that he does.
Thank you, Malcolm. And why doesn't Ralph rely on law enforcement to obtain justice for the killing of his wife and daughter?
Well, the problem is he's a man of action. So law enforcement has difficulty in getting this killer, Ted Wiggle. They don't have any proof that he actually did it. And so he becomes impatient and does what he does as a SEAL. He targets people and then he takes them out. So he just short circuited the process because he's a man of action. He can't sit around and wait for law enforcement to find out that they can't prosecute the person. That's just not satisfying to him. He has to act. That's his the way he's made and put together. So.
And the US government tries to manipulate Ralph. Why did they do so?
Well, what happens is that not known to him, um, there is a problem with one of the kills that he was ordered to do when he was a SEAL. They ended up killing somebody, a son of a leader of a country, and in Afghanistan. And the government, the State Department, and the Navy and stuff are getting a lot of pressure to do something about Ralph. That's why his team was taken out. And so they start pushing on Ralph, and then they become protagonists against him as well because they're trying to satisfy this leader. So what does Ralph do? He does what he always does. He takes action against the people who are coming after him. And now his adopted daughter becomes his new family. And so he does everything he can to try to defend her and to and make her life better since she was tortured by this pervert previously. So that's what's happening with that. And he is very difficult for him to find this out because he worked for the government basically. He was a SEAL, he believed in the country and everything else. So these people starting to plot against him really is a very difficult thing for him to handle.
And why does Cindy transition from being Ralph's adopted daughter to his eventual lover and wife?
Well, what happens is that you find out that she has a lot of issues too. She thinks that she almost died and she's kind of in a traumatic position. So she becomes his daughter. And as she becomes older and becomes a woman, she realizes that her father, Ralph, is the only person that she could be with because she has to deal with her fears every day. She wakes up with the idea of terror, and she needs someone there to protect her. And only when Ralph is there does she feel secure. Otherwise, she feels the demons are coming for her. So she becomes, first of all, his daughter, but then when she becomes a woman, wants to be his wife because he's the only one that can make her feel secure and safe. The other boys that she deals with, they can't protect her. So that's what she gravitates towards. So it's kind of a transition in her life, but it comes from her own fears and her own challenges. for trying to deal with the tremendous trauma that she experienced when she was younger.
Thank you. A last question for you. Why can't Bob Prandini and Ralph resolve their differences?
Well, Bob Pradini is a detective from Seattle, and the second person that Ralph takes out on his payback enterprise is the person who tortured Sid, who is the billionaire who hires him and supports this payback group that he becomes the head of. And he asked Ralph to take this guy out because he did the same thing to his daughter. He lost his daughter through this pervert, a different pervert. And Bob Prandini is a hard-nosed detective, and he has a very strong moral code too, and that is you do everything by the law. And so Ralph becomes his target because he wants to make sure that the law finds him and tries him for murder. And so there, it's the clash between their different moral codes. You know, it's that he Bob Prandini has a moral code, but so does Ralph, and his moral code was developed with the SEALs, and that is you take action against those who would come after you. And Bob Prandini believes you have to go through the legal system. So there is the conflict between the two of them, and they can't seem to resolve that difference. Even
Yeah.
though Ralph at one point saves Bob Brandini's life. So
Yeah. By the way, Prandini sounds like an Italian last name. Is this character from Italy?
well, he has of Italian
Origins.
origins, right? and he has that, and he constantly refers to himself in that. So,
Thank you so much for joining us today. And last thing, where can we find your book?
well, of course, Barnes and Noble and Amazon are the two things, but it's in a lot of different bookstores and things like that. But the two big outlets, it's in both of those.
Thank you so much for being with us, Malcolm Chester.
Thank you, and have a good day.